Hey, it's me, Vicky Marie, and good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are in this crazy world we're living in. And I can see from what people are saying in the chat, and I know from how I feel, it's cold, isn't it? It seems to be cold everywhere. It's still freezing cold here. I say freezing cold. It's now 11 degrees, but any of you who watched my stream this morning, my very early morning stream, it was actually 0 degrees. Anyway, anyone who doesn't know me, my name's Vicky Marie. I talk about crime and all sorts of things, and but mainly crime of one kind or another. Crime stories, sometimes in live, sometimes in videos. I'm based in mainland Spain, which is very cold at the moment, believe it or not. But I believe it's cold everywhere. It must be warm somewhere. It'd be warm in Australia or somewhere like that. So what we're going to talk about today, well, we covered the case of Jay Slater. In fact, I like to put a picture up, don't I, in the corner of whoever we're talking about. I've got one here, I might have to. And of course, Jay, just 19 years old. He was on holiday in Tenerife, in the Canary Islands in Spain, in this area at the back of me that I've got as my background here today, because it just reminds us of the sort of area that we were talking about. And that is a painting up in the corner that somebody did of Jay, a very good painting, actually. So Jay was on holiday, his first holiday with his friends in Tenerife, and he was at the NRG festival for 3 days. This was back in July, I think, wasn't it? What were the dates? Let's have a look. Can't remember the exact dates, but it was in the summer. And he was having a great time to all intents and purposes. Excuse me. Yeah, it was in July this year, 2024. He was having a great time with his friends. He was at the festival. He was dancing. He was having a drink. He was probably, maybe, taking a few little illicit substances. Who knows? But, doing whatever 19-year-olds do when they go to Tenerife on holiday. And then for some unknown reason, he one night while he was there, he'd been on a night out and he wanted to go back, or he was invited back, or we don't know the exact circumstances. We may find out in this video, to go into the mountains to Masca. He was, because Jay was actually staying in the sort of near the strip, like anyone who knows Tenerife, that's the popular part, if you like, where most holidaymakers go. And he went off with Ayub, who's we're going to hear talking today, and another guy, Rocky, and off they went to an Airbnb up in the mountains. And Jay stayed there for a couple of hours, and we'll hear the full details in a moment of what happened. And then Jay decided he wanted to go back to his apartments. And anyway, that's when he disappeared, wasn't it? So, and then he wasn't found for a couple of weeks. He'd unfortunately fallen down a ravine. That's the official explanation of what happened to him. Some people don't believe it. Some people think he came to some foul play. Personally, I don't. I think it was an accident. And poor Jay, he underestimated the terrain that he was having to walk over. So he'd made a panicked phone call. Well, he'd made one message to one of his friends, Brad, sort of making a bit of a joke about where he was. And then things got more serious, so he made a more panicked call to his friend Lucy, saying he had no battery on his phone, he had no water, He had no clue where he was, etc., etc. So that's the story. That's what happened. And then he disappeared. And then he was found a couple of weeks later, sadly deceased in the ravine. And his injuries were consistent with a fall. And so that's what so far what has been said. We're still waiting for a British inquest. But I can't see that it's going to be any different result. So it's a very sad story. His family were there over there looking for him for all those weeks. And of course, they also got trolled really heavily. And there was a lot of horrible things being said, etc., etc. And a lot of horrible things have been said about Ayub. And Ayub has said, he did come out on TikTok a little bit, didn't he, and say a few things. Anyway, he's been very quiet, really. I'm surprised. The newspapers haven't been there, to pay him money, and that maybe they have tried and maybe didn't want to, who knows. But anyway, he has spoken now, and I want to thank one of my chatters who sent me the link to the newspaper article talking about Ayub's interview, which then led me to the podcast itself. I listened to the podcast. I reached out to the podcaster. So Ayub has spoken to someone who he trusts, who he knows, but this person is a podcaster. And we're going to look at their channel. They've got quite a large number of subscribers, somewhere around 80,000. It's very interesting. It's not a podcaster I'd ever heard of before. And it just made me think, in the YouTube world, we're just like a little speck of dust in the universe, really. Small channels, because even the big channels, I'd not heard of this particular podcaster before, but I'll certainly be watching these podcasts now because they look really interesting. And he talks about all kinds of things. Anyway, I reached out to him to ask him if I could use his interview under fair use to chat about it with you guys. And he sent me a lovely, so nice. Do you know what? This is it. The bigger the bigger sort of channels, they're always so nice. And you get like Paul Arnott's of this world who you share like 1 minute off one of his rubbish videos, and he copyright strikes you. But this just shows you people with class. What larger channels shouldn't be. Why would you say to someone no, you couldn't use it? But anyway, I don't know. But people do, or they don't answer sometimes. But I was sent a very nice reply, very courteous, very just lovely, And anyways, he's given me the permission to use the interview to show you guys, and we can go through it together with open minds. We've got to give Ayub, I feel for Ayub really, because it doesn't matter what he says, really. There'll always be some people who are going to be saying bad things about him because he's had a checkered history. But the guy who does this podcast has had a checkered history as well. I'd like to see how many people haven't had a checkered history when they were young. The people hold mistakes against people that they do when they're 16 years of age. Same with Jay, really. I know lots of people. There's people in my family that have had, let's say, nearly gone the wrong way when they've been young because they've come from an environment where bad things are going on, but they've come through it and they're stronger for it, and they've done really well, through it, after it, and completely turned their lives around. So we have to give people credit for things like that. And we have to watch this interview with an open mind. And, I just think it must be murder being perfect, mustn't it? These people that think they're so perfect and they're just so quick to criticise. But anyway, that's what we're going to do. We're going to watch this interview and see what you think of it, and everyone has their views. There's, I just say be respectful, be aware that people are human beings, whatever. So just don't be too disrespectful what you say, even if you don't believe Ayub's story or whatever, I would just ask for the sort of respect that maybe you would appreciate if it was you who was being sort of cast aspersions towards. And also, I'll be sort of in the chat, obviously, as well. Just want to remind people of the rules of the chat is you don't mention, please, other YouTube channels, not by name anyway. And don't dox yourself or anybody else by saying where you are, where you go, or anything like that. Just be aware that you are on the internet and anyone could be watching. And that's really and as long as you're respectful. Oops, the dogs have started fighting. There's no other rules than that. So let's have a look first at this podcaster, this channel. Riley, don't. So as I say, it's not a channel. That's not the right one. No. That's definitely not. That's my channel. That's not the right one. Let me try again. So the channel is this one. It's called the Central Club. And yeah, it's got nearly 80,000 subscribers. And if you look at the about, a voice through adversity, we ain't left, we ain't right, we stay central. So there's some really interesting videos on there that I'll be definitely having a look at. Riley, stop it. Sorry, that's Riley looking for attention, as always. So apparently they do a podcast every Sunday, 12 p.m. And here are some of this is the one we're going to be looking at, the interview with Ayub. But you can see there's various different podcasts, lots of different things. All sorts of different things on there. There was one that looked really, there's one with Tommy Robinson, which look, oh, they are, the Derek Diablo and Tommy Robinson debate and fight. Full scrap. So some things about football. Some success stories from people that were low and then, came through it, the adversity. Someone who's come from a homeless addict to the top of OnlyFans. Calvin Robinson, that would be interesting. Not that, I'm not really centre. I am more on the left, but it'd be interesting to watch. I mean, the thing is, you have to listen to all different points of view, don't you? We're all looking, I think, we're all human beings and we look for a bit of confirmation bias, don't we? We're all a bit guilty of that. We like to watch things, listen to things that confirm what we think. That's human nature, I suppose. The Sean Atwood story, etc. So there's a lot of different things on there that look interesting to watch. So what is very interesting as well, as you'll find, is how so Ayub has decided to tell his story to this YouTuber
really outside
because he knows him, he met him in prison, because the YouTuber himself is somebody who's turned his life around as well, who spent his earlier years, getting into trouble anyway. I'll let you watch the video and you'll get to hear about it all. But it's, I think people who turn their lives around, they really do deserve respect, because when people come from a certain background, you do get sort of tied up in things. If you come from a background where the people around you are dealing drugs or taking drugs or whatever they're doing, it is hard not to get involved in that, because that's what everybody's doing, so it's hard not to get involved in it. And if you're unlucky enough to get involved in it and you manage to get yourself out of it, and move on with your life and do something different with your life, then really you do deserve credit in my eyes. Okay, so let's start. Let's have a listen to this podcast.
The Central Club.
What's going on, people? It's Colin Mays from the Central Club podcast. This episode is brought to you by Weekend Defender and Re-Inspire Printing. If you haven't already, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the club, and hit the bell button to be notified of future content. Today, we have a very important guest on the Central Club, a podcast that's been longly awaited and with great anticipation by many as well. A lot of people have been intrigued, besotted, and encapsulated with the case of Jay Slater. And today we have one of the people who is deeply involved in, let's say, the events that led up to him disappearing and unfortunately passing away. I'm really excited to get into this interview. I warmly welcome Ayub Qassim.
Okay, so here's Ayub. Now, I just want to say hello to everyone, actually, because I see people have come in. Hi, Bertan. Hi, Katrina. Hi, Heather. Hi, Lorna. Hi, David. Hi, Laurie. I hope I haven't missed anyone, because I was off there for a little while there, so I'm having a look down. If I have missed you, sorry. Bertan, I think I said hello to you. Hi, Julie. So, yeah. Oh, hi, Junior. I've got my Deirdre Barlow glasses on. The thing is, these are not actually glasses. They just tone the computer down, the light from the computer. So, hi, Kelly. So let's carry on listening. So just listen with an open mind. People have got their views, but, people don't know that you don't know this man. You don't know his story. No. So we're listening with open minds. People have their views. It might not change people's views, but there you go. It's just, you've got to give people a chance to speak. If it was you, whoever you are, and you'd want your chance to speak. You'd expect people to listen to you with open minds, surely. Anyway, we're going to listen and see what happens.
I feel welcome. Thank you very much, brother.
How's it going? You okay?
Yeah, I'm all right, bro. I can't complain. All is well. All is well, my G.
Yeah.
Good to see you. It's been a long time. So I'm saying you're looking well. And let's get this cooking.
Yeah. I think the people deserve to get a bit of a backstory, and I'm sure we're both not proud of how we met each other, but nonetheless, these things do happen. So I met yourself almost 10 years ago now in Cardiff prison.
So that's how they met each other. They met in prison, and I just love the way he's been honest. You didn't have to say that. Don't expect it's much fun talking about being in prison or admitting that you were in prison. Now, when Ayub went to prison, he was 16 years old. And this is where these two men have bumped into each other. And this is obviously why Ayub feels comfortable enough to talk to this guy about this, because he trusts him. Because, well, you'll hear what Ayub himself has got to say about why he's decided to talk to him.
I think we were two totally different people back then. I'd like to think we've both learned our lesson. And when I saw this tragic story of Jay Slater, and I saw your face plastered all over social media, straight away I just knew, I know that guy. Like I couldn't put my finger on it straight away, and then I realized when they put, he's flooded Wales with drugs, I thought, yeah, it's Ayub. And straight away, I'll be honest with you. Like, I couldn't believe what people were saying, because the guy that I remember in prison was just such, like, you know, you get a lot of people who we both know, attitude problems. They think they're bad. I've always thought that you come across as such a humble guy, and color, religion, culture, background, whatever, it transcends with you. You never was that guy who was like, this is who I am, that's who you are. You kind of blended in with everyone, and that's what, like, kind of resonated so much with remembering you and getting on with you in jail, but also making me think that there's no way this guy's capable of this.
Yeah, that's bollocks. Yeah, no, 100%, 100%. That's what anyone who knows me, like actually knows me, or has been around me, or had some sort of communication with me, like whether they're friend or foe, they'll tell you like, yo, it's not like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'll deal with you direct, straight. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no weird shit going on.
Yeah. I can only speak from the experience I have, and you know, we are called the Central Club, and naturally, because of me explaining to people how we know each other in the first place, and I've actually put my personal opinion across there of what I thought initially when I seen you plastered all over the media. I still want to make sure that I give a fair account. I ask you the questions straight up, and you know, we'll see where this goes, you know. So, you know, I really appreciate you coming on.
No, and I appreciate you having me, Macy.
You know, and last time we looked at well, it wasn't an interview, was it? Ayub put some, we watched some of it. He did some TikTok video himself. He was answering questions. You know, I still feel the same about Ayub. It's like a London by. I mean, I can't do the accent, but you know, he's a. I don't know. Anyway, I don't want to give my opinion over. I want you all to get your own thoughts.
Me on, to be honest. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, I had a few people get in contact. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, I know you. You know what I'm saying, bro? And you've got a nice little chilled thing going on. And if I'm gonna go on anywhere, I'll pass through your little station or big station. I mean, you know, Central Podcast's not a joke. I mean,
Yeah. I appreciate it, mate. You know, I'd like to think that the Central Club, for those who probably have never come across our platform, you know, we do have a wide range of guests.
our photos.
Yeah, you know, different walks of life. But nonetheless, I'd like to think people who have either brought something to the culture or have impacted the culture. And I think that what's happened with Jay Slater this summer, it's been massive. And yeah, I think we just get madness, like, and this is what I want to, you know, get your perspective on how it's affected you. So I think the first thing we want to do is just get a little backstory of you, because the way the media portrayed you, is it true? Where are you from?
I'm from Barking, bro. And
He's from Barking. You know, they've all been going on, oh, he's Somalian. I mean, he's obviously Somalian, I think, descent. But he's from Barking. It couldn't get a more typical London boy. You know, it's the way he talks and everything. I met when I worked for the races, for the horse. For the tote, you know, going around horse. I've met a million boys like him, men like him, the way they talk, and he's all bravado. And he came over to me as a person who was all bravado, like a lot of people are, a lot of men are, especially. But really, I don't feel like, you know, he got involved in something when he was 16. I mean, he's not a saint, of course he's not. But who is, you know? And I don't think he had anything to do with what happened to Jay, and also I don't think anyone did, to be honest. But I know people think differently, and everybody's got their view.
East London. Some might say Essex, some say East London. And I lived in Northampton as well, in the Midlands. for a considerable time of my life growing up as well. Do you know what I'm saying? Both places I've lived before. Park is
You know, he has his, do you know what I'm saying, bro? That's just the way he talks. You know, that's how they all talk.
one of those areas, isn't it? Like, and Dagenham, let me add the door, because it's like one of those areas that are it's two areas in one borough. And growing up there was all right, not that bad. You have got crazy things going on in that. People passing away, gangs and whatnot. The usual that you find in out like little estates and that out at the edge of town and stuff. You know what I'm saying, or near the town centre, whatever you want to call it. But all in all, the people that I grew up with over there, some are doing long time in jail, some of them passed away, some of them are doing well, some of them are gone down the wrong path. But all in all, they're good.
Yeah, a lot of the people that I work with on the tow, my son's father, one of them, you know, they come from places like this, you know, that he comes from, and they'd all escaped, really. You know, they've told me, you know, a lot of their friends who had died either of drug overdoses or, because, you know, that's a slippery slope. When you're brought up in those sort of areas, I was brought up on a council estate, just never, I don't know, you know, I was just lucky, I think. You know, I've lived in some of the roughest areas of Manchester. I've worked in some of the roughest areas of Manchester, but luckily for me, I've never got dragged into that sort of world. But I do know people that were, but I know people that were dragged into those worlds and then came out of them as well. You know, some of my family, for example, you know, just lucky, so lucky that they didn't get caught sometimes with some of the things they were doing. But sometimes people get caught and they go to prison, and then other people are luckier, they don't get caught and they don't end up going to prison. And then something happens, you know, in the particular person I'm thinking of, they met a woman who sort of really sorted them out a bit, and they're now got their own business, and, you know, you would say they were a millionaire really from their own gas supply business that they built up, you know, over years. But they could have gone that way. You know, anyone can go that way. You know, if anyone thinks they can't go that way, then I'm sorry, I think they're mistaken. You know, it's there but for the grace of God, really. A lot of it is look what you get caught doing, and whether you go to prison, how lenient they are, how much you manage to get rehabilitated in prison is very. And I hope you find it as interesting as I do when these two guys start talking about rehabilitation and, you know, how it did start to be. You'll see that Ayub says, you know, the first time he went to prison, he wasn't rehabilitated when he came out, but the second time, the longer time, he was. So anyway, we'll give him a chance. Sorry, I should stop talking, really.
People, bro, and every time I do go back or go past, I do get love and I show love, bro. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got no bad thing to say about any area that are, like, whether they're rough or not. You know what I'm saying? You've got to love your community and try to do good by it.
Yeah, 100%. And you know, growing up, you know, in a, let's say, a less fortunate area, it shouldn't defy who you are. It shouldn't let people perceive you. You know,
100%. Right? Sorry to cut you off. Like, they'll perceive you at 100%, but it's up to you as a person to navigate through that. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, at the end of the day, it don't matter what people think, unless it's your mother or people or your nearest and dearest that you really care about their opinion as to what they think. It shouldn't affect you going forward. Because, bro, I don't know. I read somewhere that the day you start not giving a fuck about what people think and that's the day most of your problems leave you.
yeah.
Yeah?
Oh,
I'm
100%.
not saying you're going to be problemless. Like, it's not like, but most of them will leave. Do you know what I'm saying? And And I'm talking from experience.
Now, recently, I've had a student, literally just about a month ago, they finished classes, but came from Lancashire, and just very similar story. Got into trouble, got involved in whatever's going on there, in the bad things. Not everything in Lancashire is drugs and things like that. People have to remember that it's not all about that. But he did get involved in that because of the environment that he lived in. Whatever, he went to prison, did his, his sentence. And when he came out of prison, he said he had to just move away, because if he would have gone back to the same area where he was living before, he would have just got involved in it all again, because you're not given a choice because of the reputation he had and what he'd done before. If he went back to that same area, people have got a view of him, an expectation of him. So that's the reason why he's come to live in Spain, is just to a totally new life and leave all that behind him. I hope he makes it, because it's not easy, to break. Once you're in that life, it's not easy to break out of that life, is it? Because you're in it, and then, the other people in that life, they don't want you to break out of it. They don't want you to break out of that life. They want you to stay in it with them.
Experience in a way as well.
I think it's a fact of life. It's a fact of growing up. And you could say more relevant now when you are of age, when you are more conscious of things. A lot of us hold back. A lot of people hold back because they're worried about what their community, their family, their friends think.
Yeah, 100%. And then they let that stop them from doing what they want to do. Like, when I do say, like, listen to your nearest and dearest, I mean, as in respect them and that. But if you got a certain path, a certain place you're trying to go, then go to that place. You know what I'm saying? So like what we was talking about earlier, then put into context. You mentioned something about some people writing like actual reputable characters, like as in their follows and stuff like that, who've got a wide range of like they say something and it can go to loads of people's desktops and that, and they'll say something. I remember you mentioned it, said, oh, some woman, I'm gonna mention names, was saying, oh, I'm traveling around the world with girls and that, and partying and all of that. And we spoke about it, and I was like, bro, the whole reason that I do travel is because I've been cooped up in a prison cell for 7 years. Not blaming no one, but coming out, that's how I, you know what I'm saying? And
Perceived.
yeah, do you know what I mean? They might perceive it in whatever, like, but I said to you, bro, like, I'm 30 years old, bro. Like, the days where you just want to get with any sort of girl it's not. You got as you grow up, you realize, yo, it's empty, mate. Like, you know what I'm saying? One, you're just, you know what I'm saying, like, disposing of someone. He sounds bad, but that's how it comes across, because you whatever talk them whatever, and then it's like they go carry on thinking, oh, I thought I could have had something with someone and they just got rid of me and that. And then you as a guy, you're thinking, yo, I'm tired of this shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? And if you look at it, the only sort of guy that can do it, like, you see two types. You see one that's smashed it and done everything he needs to do, and he's just doing his thing with bare different girls. And then towards the end, like that damn Brazilian guy, remember the other day, he said, bro, I just clocked it was empty. Yeah, it's not validating. And then you got the other guy who's just lazing about and he's sleeping with about 3-4 different women. And that's like his routine. Like, that's like, he will stay in that house for like 3 days, then stay in that. So both ways, the way you want to look at it, or not, do you know what I'm saying? And then you got people like that accusing me of going all over the world, sleeping with bare different women. You don't know me, mate. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I showed you earlier, all I was doing was trading crypto, and I was with a couple of my boys.
Well, I think a lot of people, because of the case, because of your record, because of being in Tenerife during a festival, People will just say you are a drug dealer and everything you do is funded by drugs. And I think this is a dangerous thing. I'm not saying that you don't. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, for the record, things like cryptocurrency, things like social media, they are perceived now, they make a lot of money, all right? And people just automatically think if you've got this money, you're a drug dealer. Well, unfortunately, there's many, many ways you can make big money right now.
100% of getting coins. Do you know what I'm saying? Only if you like just let your head out and just expand your thinking. Do you know what I'm saying? You'd be surprised what you're capable of.
And I know you've been doing that mining for a while. Well, since I started following you through this, I've seen you upload stories, and I've even spoken to you about it. Like, you know, you do these the crypto stuff, don't you?
Yeah, bang it out, bro. Bang it out. And it's mad, G, because like they got these, like obviously you've got all of these coins now that people have just been putting money in that are like stable. But there's like another thing now called the meme coins and that. And it reminds me of what's that film? You know, War Dog, where they say, oh, the big contracts go to like the big companies and that. And then you've got us like at the bottom, they said of like, but that's where the most of the money is, like just, and they're trading in bullets and night vision goggles and little stuff like that. Do you know what I'm saying? So the meme coins is that.
Oh God! I mean, this like for now. You can see that maybe Ayub is involved in loads of dodgy stuff. I don't know. To me, all that crypto and everything, the Bitcoin. You know, I had a friend here who was always trying to get me to invest in Bitcoin. I was just like, it's just not for me. You know, I'm just not interested. But you know, a lot of people are, and I think young men are especially interested, aren't they, in trading and. You know, because the young men, they want to earn a lot of money quick. Normally, don't they? They don't want to. They don't want to. You know, get a job and work hard and work their way up. But certainly not these days. You know, they want to just want money because they're looking at people like Andrew Tate, who says that, oh, if you have money and you do this, and you know, women will just fall at your feet and what have you. There's this sort of toxic masculinity culture. You know, so I do think a lot of young men are like that. I think Ayub is, you know, he's not a conventional person. You know, he's not going to go to work at Tesco stacking the shelves, is he? And maybe he is dealing drugs. I don't know, but I don't think he's had a, you know, I don't think there's still a far step from that to murder as well, of course, you've got to remember. It's a big difference.
Equivalent of that, to be honest, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Which one's like linked to the major coins, but say for example, I don't know, like Hasbullah's cat passed away or something. I don't know if it's true or not, but the coin with him and his cat on it is blue. Like, say, so you was to put, as it come out, say it's at like 60,000, 50,000, whatever market cap, like no one knows about it. It's still like it just comes up on your screen. And say you used to put 100 quid on it, and it X'd by 280. That's £28,000 you made in a day.
Just crazy.
Yeah, it's just foreign language to me. But people do it. People do make money from all these kind of things. People make money from weird things. And you know, it's not for me because I couldn't cope with something that I didn't really understand. But anyway, I don't know. So he's obviously got his finger in a lot of pies, but yeah, he lives at home with his mum and he's got no kids. So he's just, he's free to do whatever he wants, isn't he?
Crazy.
So it's mental. I know, bro. So that's what I'm saying. Like, if you just sit down and and I'm not just saying talking about that, just in anything, like if you just like sit down and scope the settings, pick your spot and just sniper it.
What?
So just for the record, then, are you saying that like this is how you have.
Sometimes his choice of words, like the sniper and the bullet things, are probably not a good choice of words. But I suppose if he was more conscious about what he was saying, he wouldn't use those words.
Major money. This is how you have been able to go on your holidays and stuff.
I wouldn't say like I've got major money in that. Like, do you know what I'm saying? But I'm all right. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's like, and like I was saying to you, when you coop up in like a cell for that long, like I said it before, like you got to treat the world like you're going from London to Manchester, like.
Yeah, I really like that, because that is how I looked at the world for a long time as a former heroin user. I became so comfortable and content with never leaving the British Isles. I thought I'm not even leaving. Well, I used to leave the country to do my work, but sometimes I'd be happy with just staying in my country and just not even going to England. Obviously, I'm based in Wales for a lot of the people, but I went on my first holiday. I'm 4 years clean now. I went on my first holiday this year to a wedding, and when I done.
Well, do you know what? This just fills me with admiration. So he's 4 years. He's been open and honest about the fact he was a heroin user. He's now 4 years clean, and he deserves congratulations. He's doing well with his podcast. It's fantastic, I think.
That. Why have I waited so long? Why have I wasted this time? I am going here. So like, I understand like how comfortable we can get, but also how hellbound you want to be to travel the world. So okay, so you grew up in London, or the outskirts of London, Dagenham and Barking, moved to Northampton. How would you end up in Cardiff and eventually?
There was a couple of the boys I grew up with in Northampton, and they were kind of like doing their thing and that with all the drugs and that. And obviously, at that age, you're impressionable. Do you know what I'm saying? You see what's going on around you, and you think, yeah, I want a bit of that. And you already, don't get me wrong, I already always thought, my plan is to get into business and stuff like that. And do you know what I'm saying? Like, that was already what I'm going to college, because I got kicked out of 2 schools now. I got kicked out of school in London, I got kicked out of another school in Northampton, and then I went to like them exclusion schools, and then from there I went.
Yeah, so he's had a checkered history where it says kicked out 2 schools. He went to one of those exclusion schools. The thing is, as I say, when you mix in with these, it's difficult not to get slide into. I'm trying. I could tell you something now, but I just somebody that I know. You got that who was literally that far from ending up like Ayub, because once you start doing one thing, it might just be smoking a bit of marijuana. That might be how you start. And then those people that you're buying that marijuana off, they start saying to you, do you want to do a bit of dealing? You can help me out here. Can you, go here, do this? And you start doing that. They start doing that. And then before you know it, you're on heroin or whatever. It's such a slippery slope, and people are lucky if they don't, if they come from that sort of background where people are doing it. It's very difficult not to get involved in it, because they make fun of you as well and make you feel like, you pussy, why won't you do this, or why won't you do that? It's a lot of peer pressure in certain areas.
To college because I got all right GCSEs, and then halfway through college, what was it? Got beat up some guy that basically set me up. I used to sell a bit of weed, and he set me up. I didn't really care about the people who were trying to rob me and that, because I did get it back in the end. But I thought, yo, I know you, bro. Like, you set me up. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm not even angry at the people you set me up with, because we had it out there and then. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, because it was a few of them, I might not come out on top. But, and then I thought, all right, and not only that, not only did he set me up, he punched me because he was getting on tops for the matey that he set me up with. So I was like, I'm thinking in my head, like, talking about comfortable, thinking, all right, I never knew you'd set me up, but all right, you've already set me up. But now this guy's shouting for your help because I'm getting the better of him. Nowhere are you gonna jump in. Like, you already set me up. I'm already pissed off with you. And then boom, now as he shouted for me, he just cracked me in the side of the head. Anyway, cut the long story short, I found that guy. Like, one of my mates messaged me and said, "Oh, yeah, guy you've been looking for the last 2 weeks," because he'd walk into the college canteen after everyone left. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm not going to go into detail how I beat him up and that, but I've done a number on him there and there. The college, whatever, security broke up, and then I decided that day I don't want to come back here. Do you know what I'm saying? And that was in Northampton, and then I got involved with the older boys, and then just county lines really with them. Do you know what I'm saying? We'd go all over the country, and at that time, we were thinking that we're taking over, basically. You know what I'm saying? And then, yeah, we just used to go all over the country and that. And that's weird. I know like most of the motorways in the UK because of going all over there. So I'm saying.
How old was you when you started that?
16. So, like, it's my first year in college, that around Christmas times.
Young,
bro. That's what I'm saying. Impressionable, isn't he? Just, yeah. And then I was doing it. And then I went jail for it when I was like 16, like in like a youth offenders, like from like 15 to 18-year-olds. I've done 4 months in there, got out, and then I filled out for a bit, and then same lads got in contact saying, "Oh, we're smashing it in Cardiff. Come down. Oh, you want to get piece of the action and that." And these times, and then this one they said that apparently I flooded Cardiff with drugs.
yeah, it's
Said like everyone, you need something to blame someone. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, maybe I was part of it, but
I think media, prosecutions, courts, when you have like, I don't know, the Mirror.
Yeah, I think, you've got to be a little bit cautious with sort of the headlines, like, because don't forget, this Jay Slater story is the biggest story of the summer. They found that he's gone to this guy's Airbnb, and oh my God, he was in prison for drugs, and then it was always flooded Wales with drugs and that. What? I mean, he was about 16 or something. Did he really, or was he just involved in that whole thing that was going on? Is he really? All respect to Ayub, but watching him talk, I don't see him as a criminal mastermind at all, I'm afraid. So I think he was probably one of the pawns, one of the foot soldiers, but I doubt very much that he was the brains behind it all.
Or the echo in the courtroom. These people are not streetwise. These people have no clue anyway. So what they write in the media is just way out of touch anyway. And they're not, and especially prosecution, they'll paint it as much as they want. And if they're actually writing something down that the prosecution has said, Mr. Qassim is flooded Wales,
yeah, they'll write. Yeah, it's
I'll write that down, and it must have been hard because as a 16-year-old not going back to college, you've seen a bit of money, you've gone to jail, you've had a break, but you also now are out struggling, no money again. That perception of which I had,
the same lads are
enticing you. And I had that perception at a young age as well. When I had a criminal record, that's it, I can't get a normal job. So, I can see how easy it would be to go down that road.
100%, bro, 100%. You know what I'm saying? And it's...
How long did they give you?
What? When I'm Cardiff for when I was 16.
The Cardiff one.
9 years, bro. 9 years. And I've done 7 out of it. 700. It was up until last year, 2023.
What did they have on you end?
Oh, bro, like, just like,
So he'd only just come out last year as well. So, you know, I'm sorry, I just don't see Ayub as a criminal mastermind that at the age of 16 that tried to flood Wales with drugs.
we got raided in that, but it weren't even a raid like where it was sanctioned, because it was at like 11 at night. That, you know, all they got to say is, "Oh, we was doing a welfare check and we got worried about the person inside, so we smashed." That's like a way of legitimizing kicking through people's doors where, you know, there's things. Fair enough, like they weren't lying, and maybe that's the sort of policing and how they wanted to police. You know what I'm saying, I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, like maybe, like, bro, like people's always bending rules, bro, and
They had it as well.
yeah, like, you know what I'm saying?
Is that what he said? But on a welfare check.
No, like that's what they wrote on the paperwork, yeah. But I don't know what check they were coming from, bro. But they did.
Was you shouting from someone's yard? Was you?
Yeah.
And they probably thought they were.
Yeah, and they swore like. Go on, sorry to cut you.
Well, they have that term now. Like, same as county lines is a new term, but it's been going on for years. They've got the term cuckooing, which is like another term they want to use, and they would say that, you know, vulnerable people, etc., etc.
Yeah, but they're offering you it. You know what I'm saying? They're saying, give me that much, and you can have my gaff. No one's forcing no. You know what I'm saying? No one's that. You're like, yo, if you don't want me here, ciao. Like, I'm not gonna like.
This is something that I do say. I talk about this now. So I believe sexual predators, pedophiles, abusers, you know, they always get a softer sentence than drug dealers, which I think is wrong. It's categorically wrong.
Yeah, I agree completely with him. Look at Hugh Edwards. What's that? He didn't even get any prison time. So, you know, whatever you think of Ayub, and I know some of you don't like him and that, but he was 16 years old, supposedly flooding Wales with drugs. I don't believe that for a minute. But he got 9 years. Hugh Edwards got no prison sentence for having child pee on his phone, and for all the, you know, and quite a lot of child pee on his phone, and very serious child pee on his phone. Didn't even get a jail sentence. So I think this guy's exactly right. You know, there's something skew with sentences. You know, and look at the Just Oil protesters. They got 5 years just for planning a protest. And there's Hugh Edwards, swans off with no prison sentence. You know, there is definitely something wrong.
Yeah. And one thing you could say is someone who gets abused isn't asking to be abused. But with drugs, there's demand. People want drugs. People are asking for drugs. So, you know, what you're saying right there, I've witnessed it myself. You know, people, you can wash back in my yard, you know, and, you know, I'll, you just give me a bit of crack, you can wash back in my yard, or you can shot you for the week and just give me this every day. Like, this is a well-known thing. That is a commodity for some people who have drug habits. They might have a house on the council and they're willing to put it up to, but that's common sense. I know.
Not saying that is right, but that's what happens. You know what I'm saying?
Of course. Okay, then. So you end up in Cardiff. That's where I end up bumping into you. Did you ever think, bro, when we met each other, induction wing, I think it was, or A wing, that 10 years later, I'd have a podcast?
Yeah, and no. Because everyone was on the Spice then, because this was when Spice first come out, and it was the green. It was the green.
Now, this spice that they're talking about, so this is this chemical marijuana, and I've been banging on about it for ages. People, I'm not anti-marijuana. I'm anti-chemical marijuana. The drugs that have been out over the last 10 years, they are lethal for people's mental health. They're chemically, they're full of chemicals. It's not like the old, marijuana that used to get in the little OXO cubes, whatever, years ago. It's not that. This stuff is horrible. What it does to minds, young minds. And that I've spoke to psychologists about it. I know people in my family that have used it, and it's sent them absolutely loopy. It is a horrible thing, and I found it really interesting when I was listening to this earlier to hear Ayub talking about it. And I think the government has a lot to it. The government lets drugs come in. The government wants you to be taking drugs or drinking. This is talk about having a rant. It's because they like people to be, while you're shooting yourself up with heroin or drinking yourself to death or, taking all this spice and well out of it. You're not, they want people to be quiet. Do you know what I mean? It's like they don't want people to question the political the society, especially in Britain, how unfair society is. It's just like it's a joke country as far as how society is in Britain, isn't it? You've got the royals and the aristocrats, and you still got a class system in Britain, even now in this modern day and age. And sometimes I think the government, whoever it is, I don't even know who it is. They're quite, it's easy to just blame people for being dropouts and druggies and this, that, and the other. And it stops people from actually seeing what's really going on.
It looked like fucking, it was just weird. It
looked like weed. Well, it looked like a bit like weed, but like shit weed.
Yeah. And then I remember one day I walked past like a little sign that was on the wall, and it said MPS, new psychoactive substances. And I thought to myself, fucking hell, is that what people are trying to give us? And that we've been having it, new psychoactive substances. Fuck that. Do you know what I'm saying? No way am I smoking something that's called psychoactive.
Yeah, because when it first started, loads of people were bunning it, weren't they? People who would normally smoke weed were bunning it.
100%. It was like the thing. And then it got to a point where people started dropping off it and that, and started what's that word called? Projectile vomiting and that. You know what I'm saying? And bro, it started getting wild, mate. Like
people clucking off spice.
Rocking for it. Bro, it's mad. That's why I had to swerve that.
So jail happens. What year did you get out from the sentence?
Oh, bro, like I went in end of 2014, yeah, like November, October times, and I've done all 3 Wales jails by 2016 summer. This was before that Berwyn was open in the north of Wales.
Yeah.
And then from there I went to Leicester for a night, and then from Leicester I went to High Point. It's in Bury St Edmunds, like a horse sort of area. It's like horse racing in there. Bury St Edmunds. I was there for like
Bury St Edmunds?
Yeah. That one day I was seeing most of the boys that I knew from the out.
Yeah, well, it's probably like East Midlands way, is it?
Yeah, it's like a London jail. Even though it's not in London, most of the inmates are London prisoners. You get a few Northerners, a few Scousers randomly that they done and fuck someone up north, and then they ship them out or something. Do you know what I mean? But all in all, it was like you get your little mad situations and that. You know what I'm saying? You know how jail is and that. People try and fuck it in, pressure you, or like ask you where you're from, and if they don't like the area you're from and that. And I remember that from the juvenile prisons. You know what I'm saying? I was fighting guys, I didn't know who the hell they were. And then what's even worse than that, if I don't know who the hell the guy is I'm fighting, you don't know who the fuck is about to jump in, because he's his mate. But because you don't know him, how you meant to know who's his mate?
Yeah. Jail's mad.
So I remember from that experience. So this time around, I was a bit more not vigilant per se, but more aware, sort of thing. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. After spending that time in jail, what was your like mindset? What was your motivation? What did you want to do when you get out of jail?
That when I first come out, I've done 9 years, done 4.5. Like, you know the score, you do half, yeah. I was like, I come out 24 years old, 25. Like, you know what I'm saying? I just went in, just turned 20. You know what I'm saying? From 19 not long ago, before I got nicked. And then I was still a bit gassed, yeah, whatnot. I got involved with one of my friends, like, and he was like, now, like, if a certain person rings me and I know, yo, this guy's off key or he's not right in his head, or I know he might be my friend, you know what I'm saying? But I would void him and maybe meet him in a different setting, maybe a family setting or something. You know what I'm saying? Because you gotta sometimes, well, like, people always put emphasis on you've got to watch what sort of partner you have, as in relationship, whatever. Sometimes you kind of got to put that emphasis on the friendship you choose. You know what I'm saying, bro? Because friends can lead you down some mad places. Like, so like this guy kind of went all yakuza on some guy, like went all mad on him, where it was a little situation where a little, like, if not condoning violence of any sort, but if he would have given him a slap, that would have just been ended up. Do you know what I'm saying? So he's like turned it into some mad situation. And then I was on the scene there, and you know how it goes, bro. Once you've been released out of prison and you're on license, it's one of the best things for any police, because you can get to go put back in prison without
Recall.
Yeah, recall's like the most, like,
And if you're wanted, you're not avoiding, because they're just waiting probation, or and if you don't go probation, recall,
bro. So
do you think you got recall for that? Sorry, just before you carry on, did you think jail rehabilitated you, or do you think?
we're gonna get onto that. It didn't the first time, but I did the second time.
Yeah, do you know, I found this fascinating listening to them. So, you know, whatever you think of Ayub or whatever, it's just so fascinating, because these men, whatever you think, they've been through it. You know, I don't know about, maybe you have been to jail. I don't know, but I've never been to jail. Touch wood. I don't want to go to prison. But, you know, and I don't want none of my family, although they've nearly, you know, there are people that I know who've nearly gone there. They haven't. They've been lucky and they've managed not to go there. But I'm just finding it fascinating. These guys, they know what it's like to go to prison. They know what it's like, how you have to cope, what you have to do. And when he asked him, do you think prison rehabilitated you? I think you'll find his answer interesting, because he said the first time, no, it didn't. But the second time, because he got recalled. Anyway, I'll let you tell you.
Okay.
I'll let him.
Go on. And so you got recalled, yeah?
I got recalled. The charges were pretty heavy, but obviously, because my mate that got me there, I did kind of turn around to him and said, bro, like, you're fucking getting me in this situation. I had no party, and I got recalled because I happened to be there with you. Do you know what I mean? I'm with your partner, so you've got to fucking go there and say, yo, like, I never done nothing, but like, my mate never done nothing. It was me. Take the rap, basically, because it's your fucking problem. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, getting nicked for your headache is one thing, but getting nicked for next man's headache is a whole different thing. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm going to be telling you, like, yo, bro, fucking sort it out. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no. I couldn't think of nothing worse, bro.
Oh, I'm not getting nicked for someone else. It's the worst, bro.
So, are you saying this is the time that rehabilitated you, or made you think?
Big time, bro. Big time. I've done like a good 2.5 years, and it was during Corona as well. Do you know what I'm saying? So you're not coming out, you're in your cell, and I've done like a lot of reading and that stuff. Like, I've done like a lot of reading. I looked into history. Do you know what I'm saying? All types of history. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, all types of history.
And prison is like, although prison, you know, for a lot of it, there is not, you know, it is hard to crack on, and there's not rehabilitation. It can be a great place to just get balls deep into history, geography, and everything. I'm sure there's a lot of people in here who are besotted by the Jay Slater case, and we're just going on talking about history. But I think it's important. I think it's important people to understand who you are, because the way it was, the way it's being perceived, is you are just this bad person, you know. And
Yeah, I think it's really interesting what they're saying about prison and that, 'cause it gives you an insight into how things really are, not like what you read in the paper, or not even what the police tell you or whatever. You know, these are people who have been to prison and experienced it and come out the other side. He's certainly, you know, he's done really well for himself, and now you too. You know, he has turned his life around. Who knows what? Maybe he is involved in dodgy stuff. I don't know. But he's not in prison anyway. And you wouldn't think, I can't see that he would come out of prison after all that time and want to go straight back in there again. You know, he doesn't want to go back in there. Now, we'll see in the future, will he end up going back in there? Or is he on the straight and narrow, but just doing things that maybe we don't understand? You know, that's what I suppose, you know, we don't know, do we? But it's also important to remember that the police in Spain decided that, you know, there was nothing to answer, and they're not stupid, you know, and the police in the UK have not taken any action. So we have to remember that there's no evidence that he's done anything bad.
the people who actually know about the Central Club, we are all about trying to change people's perception. All right, the facts and the truth may be the truth, but if you don't know the truth, or you know, we will try our best to lay it out, you know, give as much information as possible. So yeah, okay, so the second time you come out, as you've spoken about already, you know, you felt like you was in a box. Yeah, you said like you had this realization that people should treat the world like it's London to Manchester, meaning, you know, you can get anywhere. It's not impossible to travel the world. Is that how Tenerife came into the picture?
Sort of, yeah, sort of. Like, I went there, I liked it, like end of last year, and during those times, like up until this year, and I like, you got to remember my mate who I'm on the thingy with. I'm not gonna say names, but people can work out who I'm on about. My pal I travelled with. Like, me and him got in contact after years. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, we spoke while I was in jail and during it and stuff. But he said, "Oh, what are you up to?" And I said, "I'm in Spain." And yeah, and he come down, and he was seeing someone he was seeing a girl like in Madrid at the time. So he was coming to Spain regularly anyway, and then I was going regularly, and then we just linked up, and it was good seeing him. I mean, we'll never look back since.
And you know, you probably won't want to mention names, but if I could clarify, you mean Rocky or no?
One about oh yeah.
Okay. And like you said, you've been to Tenerife before. How long was you in Tenerife at this time? During the time
At that time, like them lot from up Burnley, we landed. I must have been there for like 4 days. I was there like a week prior to that. I went back England like 3-4 days, I think. I had to sort something out. It must have been something with work, because I was doing the work with the railway as well in the times. Because the railway, good thing about the railway is it's like it's flexible. You can work on your own hours, sort of thing. You know what I mean? So I think I was doing one of those. But I come back, and then I think it was a Wednesday, because it was like my birthday was literally a week later. When the whole reason Wednesday was for my birthday, and a couple of other mates that I know from there that I met, that they go up and down. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, some of their families have holiday homes, some don't, some just go on holiday. But what I'm trying to say is, that time I was there, like literally 2 days before they landed. Do you know what I mean?
And so when you say they, who
In the Burnley lot, I mean, like Jay and his mates. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to remember, like, they might say on TikTok and all of these people, from people that don't know me or know anyone, might say, oh, like randomly, it's like make it look like we found some random guy that had lost his keys and that, but we actually knew these people in some sort of way. Do you know what I'm saying? We've got mutual friends. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and
friends.
Yeah, and again, face value perception, a Somali boy from London or Northampton with a bunch of white kids from Burnley, they're going to think this ain't natural at all. Like, isn't they? Like, if they don't know.
And like, yeah, that thing like something bookie going on. But sometimes these sort of situations actually do happen now. People actually do meet naturally and there's no bookiness involved. Because like, even what they like, because it's not good slandering people that can't defend themselves, as in like they're not here with us no more. But the guy, like, genuinely, like, from conversation, just like a apprentice in, like, in some sort of trade, I don't know, bricklaying or something. But so I'm saying, he weren't no like involved in anything dodgy. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
so it's like people do sometimes run with something, and then, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I was there a week that time, and I landed on the Wednesday after. I landed a day before Rocky, I think, or a couple of days, because I think I landed a couple of hours before him, because I landed, got the car out, and I got the Airbnb out. Not what, again, false claims that I booked the Airbnb at 5 a.m. in the morning in the mountains. So who the fuck books the Airbnb at 5 a.m. in the morning? You need the host to reply to you, to tell you that's the code and the keys in there, and send me like the picture that I took where I'm wearing my Ray-Ban shades and I'm looking to the side. I think it come out on the Daily Mail. That picture is my Airbnb profile photo. Clearly seen it's been taken in the afternoon. But the guy said to me, let me see who you are before I rent you my Airbnb. So I thought, let me take my best photo. Oh, then look
Get the real hands on, like.
Man, yeah, bro. And yeah.
So
when I did newspaper, I didn't really like, I weren't like, fucking hell, why did I have to pick that photo? So.
Well, this is just for the record as well.
That just made me laugh, because yes, that supposedly, according to him, is the photo he had to send the Airbnb guy. Now that I know for a fact that you do have to do that. They want to know who they're renting to. And I had some, oh God, my place is not an Airbnb, but a few years ago, I did used to rent rooms to, when my son was living in England for a while. A couple of times I rented rooms to students when they were here doing a course or whatever, if they'd come from the UK or whatever. And I'll never forget this guy. He was coming out, and I started to get into a panic then, because I was thinking, oh, it's a guy. And so I asked him for a photo, like is common, and he was really funny about it. He was like, well, what do you want a photo? What copy of my passport for? And I said, well, it's just common what people do. I want a photo that, I just want a photo so I know that you are who you say you are when you come out, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, finally, to cut very long story short, and then I started to get even more suspicious, because I'm thinking, why is he being all cagey about sending me a photo? If you've got nothing to hide, you just send the bloody photo. And anyway, when he did send the photo, he was so old, this guy I didn't know, because I hadn't even thought to ask him his age. He was he was in his 70s at least. And that was why he didn't want. It wasn't he didn't want to send me a photo. He didn't know how to send me a photo. He did. So he sent me this like ancient sort of copy of his passport photo that he obviously carried around with him, and it was the only copy he had. And I must look after it until he got there and not lose it, because he had no other copy of his passport. So sometimes things that feel suspicious, they do have a reasonable explanation, so that I'm worrying why this guy's seems to be avoiding sending me his photo, and he's coming to stay in my house. And I'm like, why is he being so sketchy about it all? And so I'm starting to worry about him. And there was just a simple explanation. It's because he's not techie. He didn't know how to send a photo. And this was years ago, and he just wasn't, now you'd just send a photo, wouldn't you, on your phone, on WhatsApp or something. And you probably could have done that then, but he didn't know how to do it. So sometimes, that photo that came out about Ayub, that was all over the place, what he's saying is that was a photo he had sent to the guy at the Airbnb. Now, we'll have had to send him a photo, definitely. So...
So we did do an interview the other day, but because where we are now, we feel like it's more in a clear setting. We've got a lovely backdrop. Yeah, it was a bit busy last time, but obviously I went public on TikTok to say, look, we're going to do a part 2, get some questions in. So we're just going to run with it the whole way through now. One of the couple of the questions that did pop up is something that would have been obvious, and we're going to ask anyway. So you've been to Tenerife before. If you're going to Tenerife on a party with the boys, we'd be on the strip or near the strip. Why the Airbnb in the middle of nowhere?
So this is another question, isn't it, that people are asking? So let's see what it says. Open minds. You've got to listen to him with open minds. So anyway, so we're going to hear what he says about why he went to that place up in the mountains and not on the strip.
You got to remember, this time I'm on my 4th time going there, bro, yeah? And it's like, you get the map thing. You go to booking.com and you get the map thing. And I remember there was these 2 girls from Manchester who I met a week or week and a half prior to that. And none of them had driving licenses, but they wanted to go up the mountains on the quad bikes. Do you know what I'm saying? And you need your driving license for that. So they were like, I met them, then I knew them just left as that. But they were message me, look, fucking, we're trying to get on the quad bikes to the mountain, Mount Teedy or whatever. And we want to go there for the sunset. You know what I'm saying? And don't get me wrong, I might go other countries, but I'm not one of them cultural travelers where I'm like I might check out what's going on in the back streets, what's going on here, what you say.
Let's book the old town. I know what you mean.
Yeah, and every place has got an old town as well. What's the funny thing about it?
I'll be honest though, I am that geezer. Like, take me to the old town.
Each to their own, bro. Now I am saying I weren't at that time, but then these 2 girls, and the girl's a DJ, actually a proper sound girl. I still chat to her now, and because of her showing me those only reason I went because I had a license, and one of them jumped on the back of my quad bike, and the other one jumped on. You know what I'm saying? And it was funny because on the way back, one of the quad bikes broke down and had to stand by the side of the motorway. But it was just one of those things where
I've answered.
it was a cool day out. Do you know what I mean? They were a bit younger than me. Do you know what I'm saying? So I wasn't really trying to come on trying to graft them and that. It was just genuinely, look, we ain't got a license. We're trying to go up the mountains. And I was thinking, you know what? Fucking, I ain't doing nothing. Sounds like it. Let me try it out. And it was actually such a good experience that so a week later when I left that time and come back, I thought, you know what? Let me get a place there. And I've seen that place. And you've seen the views in that place, bro. Who wouldn't want to book there? Do you know what I'm saying? But that's the story behind. That's the why I booked those.
Yeah, no, the views were lovely and the sunsets and everything were lovely. And yeah, why shouldn't he book up there? But, people will always, why not? But, what, I don't know. Why does anyone book that Airbnb? Not only him. Why would anyone do it? It's not suspicious always when people do something unusual
over there. And like I said earlier, I didn't book at 5 a.m. in the morning on the night we were driving there. I booked it 4 days prior. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I booked it on a Thursday, Wednesday. This was a Monday. You know what I'm saying?
Where did these people get this kind of information that it was booked at that time then?
Bro, I don't know. They plucked it from the sky, G. They must have plucked it from the sky. At the end of the day, bro, when the 8 don't work, they start telling lies, mate. You know what I'm saying? And I'm happy that I am who I am, not as just in general. You got to be happy with who you are, but happy because I had friends and that ringing me saying, "Oh, bro, you know what happened to what's her name, so and so." People take this, people just throwing things in the air. Like, I've had people say they're one of the bare disgusting things, bro. Things that are abhorrent, that are, me personally, that I'm against. Do you know what I'm saying? I had people saying, fucking, I raped him and that, bro. Are you fucking mad? Like, I'm still thinking, hang on a minute. I'm a guy who's never even raped a woman in my life. So why the fuck would I rape a guy? Like, no, diddy, but that's all. Like, that's wild. You know what I'm saying? So people, and then I sit back and I think, you know what? They don't know you though. Do you know what I'm saying? So they are gonna say all sorts of fucking mad shit. And the people who know you know you. Do you know what I'm saying, bro?
And
I mean, he has been accused of that as well, because there was this sort of, oh, why did Jay go back with these two men, you know, and you know, people, but I'm just thinking, you know, when you're out and you're like drunk and you're on, you know, Jay had been on it like for 3 days or whatever, you do crazy things. But yeah, some people were like, oh, was it some sort of, and I mean, it might have been, you know, it wouldn't matter. I mean, you know, adults can, if they wanted to go back with men or whatever and do whatever, they're entitled to do that. But you know, probably for Ayub, like, to, because he was accused by some people on social media of maybe, you know, of them actually raping Jay and things, you know, there's been all sorts of things said to him. And I think you've got to remember, the police did investigate it. It was investigated. He was questioned. Him and Rocky, they had to stay an extra day, didn't they? So they could be interrogated by the police. So do you really think the police, there wouldn't have been something forensic if something bad had happened to Jay in that apartment? And of course, Jay was seen the next day walking away from the apartment as well, wasn't he? Because he had that interchange with the woman. So, you know, the thing is, you do have to look at the evidence, at what we do know, and not necessarily think about made up things. Let's see.
hopefully, yeah, and hopefully this is what we're trying to do, is get, you know, get people to get your side, because I know you've been itching to do this, but out of respect and that as well, and I totally get it.
Yeah, you got to remember, bro, Jay passed away, bro, in like unfortunate circumstances. Do you know what I'm saying? And you got to remember, people are grieving, so you've got to approach these sort of things with utmost respect and
Of course.
and do you know what I'm saying? Clarity, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'll never come on here and speak bad about anyone, even if they've done bad. I wouldn't speak bad about them, because, oh, bro, have a bit of respect. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
These are people's lives that play, and going forward, I hope everyone the best. You know what I'm saying, mate? It's not easy. It's not easy for no one. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and we will jump a bit more into like the conspiracies and what some of the theories are. Lucy, so, you know, was Lucy someone that she's a big part of this? She was a big part that people would say you were friends with. Was this someone you knew? Was she one of the members of that kind of crew?
She's in that Burnley lot, but I knew her through one of my other pals. Do you know what I'm saying? Same way I knew Jay. I did not know Lucy any more than I know Jay, and I don't know the other lad any more than I know. Do you know what I'm saying? They're all young lads, and
Seeing Jay there, I'm glad he enjoyed himself anyway.
girls, they come out there to thingy. Do you know what I'm saying? Because I met them at the NRG the first night, because it was 3 nights. I met them at the first night, and I didn't really want to be there because I wasn't really liking the music that was playing. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I tell you what, because what we'll do is, because, you know, we attempted to do this last time and I think it worked well. Is you just tell us how it went, and, you know, if I need to interject, if you want to run it up like you did last time.
Yeah, like from like where we met to the night, when the morning you went missing, basically. That's what you're getting at. All right then, bro. Obviously, I met in NRG the first night, yeah, And it was just briefly because I wasn't really feeling the vibe anyway. You know what I'm saying? It's not my sort of music. So get that. Next day, we was at the strip. Like, they obviously had the events and that, but I didn't go to any more events on NRG. From the first one, I didn't go anymore. You know what I'm saying? Because you weren't my thing. I thought it was going to be house music. But yeah, it was that, but house, techno, proper drill in my head. You know what I'm saying? I weren't a bit of me, bro.
It wasn't deep house.
Yeah, the thing is, he's older than the others. But do you know, I think I've mentioned this on another video that I've heard other people say who went to prison, like when they were teenagers. They sort of come out almost still with a bit of a teenager head, because they've sort of, that time has been spent in prison. They've not been out and about, you know, like normal, well, I don't say normal people, but like people, you know, they go for their teenage things, and then you go out, don't you, a lot. And then even by 24, 25, you're a bit older than like the 18, 19-year-olds. Your music tastes are different. And gradually you don't maybe necessarily stop going out, but you start go to different places. So he's gone there, and he doesn't like that music because it's not the music from his era. We've talked about this a lot, haven't we? About we're all stuck in our eras. And, Jay was 19, and of course, Lucy's had a load of stick as well. People have been horrible about Lucy. But she's a 19-year-old girl. They like one sort of music. So Ayub's saying that it wasn't, he's gone to the first night of the Energy Festival, and he doesn't like that music. So he didn't go to any other events. That's what he's saying anyway.
Funky house. It was hardcore.
Go back. You're not bad. You're saying like they play in the beach clubs in Dubai, and I was like, well, that weren't really me. So I was like, all right, then cool. I'm gonna swerve this. So the next day, we all now linked up on the strip. And like, when we didn't even link up, we just randomly saw each other. You know what I'm saying? It was like, yo, what are you saying? You good? Took a couple of snaps and that. We took a couple of snaps and that. And most of these videos and that, luckily, around that time, I was just taking videos, snaps, and I sent all of them to the police, and they're like in chronological order, sort of thing. Do you know what I'm saying? So when these lot mention dates and thingy and that, I'm like, bro, like, there's snaps for bits and pieces I was doing on that day. You know what I'm saying? That corroborate with what I'm saying. So after that, this is the third night. I'm just kind of zooming past all of this, just getting to the bits that make sense. You know what I'm saying? So I'm there now. England's playing. Me, Jay, my pal that I know Jay through, my boy that come with me from my area, Rocky I'm on about, and
so before he said he wasn't going to name him, now he's just said who he is. But yeah, remember that, because of course it was the England should have won. Should have been us. We should have won the Euros, shouldn't we? But anyway, we didn't. So they were all there watching that.
Ricky was there.
And quickly, the pal that you don't have to say name.
Rocky, I'm saying, innit?
Yeah, but Jay's pal that how did you know him for long?
Yeah, like we've known each other for a while. Like I'm saying, he goes up and down there every year. I'm saying his family and friends are there. Like it's normal. Like it's like loads of people from the UK go to that island. You know what I'm saying?
And it's a small island.
Yeah, and it's all love. You know what I'm saying? And you go to places where you can get English sort of food, or you go places where you can.
It's all about Brad now, isn't it? So Brad had been going to Tenerife with his family anyway, for a while. But that was the first year that Jay had gone.
Get a curry and that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, go on. So
you've been in English for long, you might as well call it English food as well. You know what I'm saying? So that's like so people just see each other in them sort of places and get chatting and that, and then realize that they've got mutual friends and they actually get along. You know what I'm saying? So we was there watching the England game. Me and my pal Rox was going to a different event. Them lot were going to the last night of NRG in Papagayos. You know what I'm saying? And I did not go in. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because some random person again got pictured with a pink t-shirt, and they're saying that was me. But that day I was wearing a grey, like beige sand color New Balance top and short set. Do you know what I'm saying?
Is that the photo where you sat down?
No, that is, I was wearing a pink shirt on one of those days, but because I uploaded all those photos in one go, people were saying, "Oh, photos that I took in the 14th
Good
got
update.
something to do with the 17th." Do you know what I'm saying?
Mm.
It's like very like I got to a point where I thought, "Oh, I'm not explaining nothing to no one because there's a mob, and I'm this foreign suspect of the month." Do you know what I'm saying? This is gonna happen. So you, as like the foreign suspect of the month, you got either like accept your role or say, you know what, fuck that, I ain't getting put in no suspect, mate. Fuck you lot. Find someone else you can play. Do you know what I'm saying? And it was mad because like obviously I'm telling you the story at the same time because it was mad in a way because I thought, fuck, only if you knew. So let's get back to this. So they've gone to NRG and I've went down. But just before that, the England game and I was all around each other chilling and that. Do you know what I mean, lad?
Yeah.
So we was all around each other chilling. So this before everyone is going to thingy. And then we got to around that time, around 11, 10 at night, where we said, "Oh, look, we're going to our event. You lot go to your event." So we went to the event we went to. Then they went on RG. And then we met some girls in that from that event from Nottingham. Do you know what I'm saying? And what you call it? They happened to come back with us. Do you know what I'm saying? Not to our homes or anything, just to the strip again. Do you know what I'm saying? And then this is when, like, during that, they would walk out of NRG, 1 minute of a power come out, you'll probably smoke a spliff outside, whatever, and then go back in again. Do you know what I'm saying? The strip is like there, isn't it? So
The strip is near the NRG festival.
yeah, it's there. So it was all on one road, like, do you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And then Jay come out, chill with me, these girls, my mate. And it was like a group of them, innit? Like some of them were cousins from Nottingham. It was just a chilled vibe and that. And then them matey Jay's pal came, like the one he flew out with, the young lad, and he was saying, "Oh, these lot," like he kind of wanted to go home. You can tell, do you know what I'm saying?
Is that Brad?
Yeah. And then in the end, we all, because you got to remember, everyone's doing their own thing, and then we was randomly linking up again because we got a mutual friend. Do you know what I'm saying? And if I didn't know that guy, I'd never know these. Do you know what I'm saying? Because there is no reason for me to be linked with them. Do you know what I'm saying? Like there actually ain't, like you said at the start. But when you do hear a story out, you actually think, okay, that makes sense. That's how they know each other. So now I remember, now my power and Lucy's now it's like the end now. They've left all NRG. The strip's coming to a close. Everyone's going to the place where everyone goes, like that last place that's open on the strip. Do you know what I'm saying? And then I kind of went there because there was someone that, like a friend of mine that I had over there, that she worked over there, and she's chilling with me the day before. So I was kind of like waiting for her to finish work, sort of thing. Do you know what I'm saying? That's why I kind of stayed. But I remember I was out the night before, so I'm not really trying to be out there a lot. So during that time, Lucy and my pal walked off to go. Like, I don't know if they went home or whatever. They were looking like forgot something on the strip. I don't know. Then the little lad, Jay's pal, he was saying, "I'm going home now." You know what I'm saying? Like he's kind of left now. Obviously, Jay was there because he refused to go home. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't know if he thought that we was going to be out till the morning or whatever, but I did kind of make it clear. Look, bro, he was like, bro, like, mate, he'd left. He's gone back to the apartment. I ain't got the key or anything. He's a cool, I'll chill with you lot. And I went, look, bro,
I think Jay was out there and he just didn't want to go home. You know where it's like. I've done it a million times. It's like, but I've come home like with the sun. We've been on the beach all night, out all night, don't want to go home once you're out, you're having a great time. Before you know it, it's 7 o'clock in the morning, and people are coming on the beach to start sunbathing for the day. And we're there, we've been there, the whole night. Once you get partying, and I'm talking about not that long ago as well, not even at Jay's age. But, Jay was there, he was wanting to carry on partying. Didn't want to go back. Brad and Lucy, they'd gone, hadn't they? Said he didn't have the keys, thinking, they're going, maybe I'll get another drink, maybe he'd get another spliff or whatever whatever his cup of tea was that night. And he just didn't want to go home. It just seems it doesn't seem strange to me. It seems quite logical what young people or anyone wants to out, because I'm like, I don't go out that much, but when I go out, it's hard to get me to come home.
I'm just waiting for someone here, like, that's working here. Like, once she's rolling, like, I'm chilling, bro. Like, I'll give you the sofa and that downstairs. Mind you, I am a bit of a drive away. And he's like, no, it's cool, sound, bro. No problem. So I was like, cool. So we walked from, gone.
Yeah. So just quickly, a lot of this moment that you're talking about was covered quite a lot on social media. Jay at the festival, people have like transcribed videos. You've dropped the bag, the money, you've lost money.
Yeah. Bro, like, everyone just.
There was no talk of them selling drugs. They were just there partying.
Yeah, bro. Like, it's like, and I can only speak from what I'm seeing from my own eyes. You know what I'm saying, bro, you're not an idiot, bro. You know who's active and who ain't. You know what I'm saying, and your kid, like, he's genuinely on holiday, bro. From what I can see.
And the second part of this is he looked in a bit of a state. Like, he was like, what state was he in when he was like?
I mean, bro, you gotta remember that NLG went from like 11, 12 all the way till 4 in the morning. Like, if someone looks like that at 1 a.m. or 2 a.m., who's to say he's still looking the same or moving the same at 4 a.m.? Do you know what I'm saying, bro? Like, from what I just said, like, just now, we had a coherent conversation where he said, yo, because you got to remember, bro, your pals are not going to leave you if you can barely stand up. You know what I'm saying? Like, if he was crawling on the floor and he was like what they're making him sound like, why would his friends left? They wouldn't have left.
Mm-hmm.
You wouldn't even leave a person you hate in that situation. You know what I'm saying, bro? Sometimes you've got to think common sense, logic. You know what I'm saying? And it's scary when you see so many people and you think, where the fuck's your logic gone? It's very scary.
Well, logic goes out of the window. Genuine logic will go out the window when people want to believe a certain narrative. So for example, with this one, people's logic will be, yeah, well, they wanted to kill him as well, or like there's one of his mates wanted to set him up, so that's why they left him. With the police, you said you cooperated with the police, and the police have not arrested you. The people will say, yeah, but the police are corrupt in Spain, so logic goes out of the window of things when you talk like that.
So
he's exactly right what he's saying. They're saying, oh, well, the police in Tenerife, they're this, they're that, and the other. How do they know what they are? And, maybe some of them are. There'll always be some police that are corrupt. But really, seriously, they're saying that the police interviewed Ayub and Rocky and looked into it and then just thought, oh, no, they've murdered him, or they know who's murdered him, but we just let him go. Why would they do that? And all the searching that they did for Jay, the mountain rescue out and everything. And good God, in the end, they had to say they weren't searching anymore just to keep people away. Because the reason they said that they weren't searching anymore and everyone was up in arms, but they were still searching. But they were just saying that because they didn't want people interfering with everything. Then all those videos came out about him dropping the bag on the beach, and then it was supposed to be Jay that was running across the road, and then he was on a boat, and then he was this, and then he was that. There's some video, and then people even started making up videos and falsifying things. Mark Williams Thomas whipped it up, everyone being nasty to everyone. So don't forget, people weren't only being nasty to like Brad and Lucy and Ayub. started being nasty to Jay's mum, like, and about the GoFundMe, and you know, there was so much hate whipped up over this case. It was vile, actually, and it still is, because there's still TikTokers and YouTubers out there still whipping it up. Because as long as people, they think they're going to get views for it, they'll whip it up, and they'll say the biggest load of rubbish. They don't care who they're hurting.
So that not long after that, there's like a little kebab shop near the corner for their place. We've got kebab and whatnot, fast food. And then I remember Rocky was like in a state where he wanted to sleep. Do you know what I mean? And he was like, "Bro, let's cut." Like I was like, "Oh, I'm waiting for so and so." He's like, "Nah, forget that. Let's go. Let's like." Do you know what I mean? And I thought, you know what? It's getting late. Let's go. And this was like late. Like I'm talking about towards the end of 5 o'clock, going into 6, whatever. Do you know what I'm saying? Like 5:30, between 5:30, 6 o'clock, whatever. So now we're all in the car. My pal Rob's on the passenger, Jay's in the back, and I'm driving. So pretty much.
What about the girls? The girls, they never bothered.
Rox, because remember, Rox told me, "Look, lad, forget waiting for her. We've got to go. I'm tired." Do you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And yeah, I'm like, "Yo, he's come out with me. I'm not gonna ditch my friend or make him feel in a way where like he's got to stay up because I'm waiting for someone." Do you know what I'm saying? It's just like
yeah.
I'd say reading between the lines there, maybe those girls blew him out a little bit, or maybe they didn't want to go back, maybe he wanted him to, but they went back because Rocky said, apparently Rocky fell asleep in the back of the car, and Rocky said to him, "Oh, come on, I can't be bothered waiting anymore," and he's gone. I honestly just don't see I don't see it as it's just one of those mad things that happen when you're out. You know, things happen. And I personally think that maybe it was a little bit blown out by those girls. Maybe they weren't that interested.
boys would be your boys. You know what I'm saying?
Of course.
So I was like, "All right then, bro, let's go." So I was driving, Rocky in the passenger, Jay in the back. To be honest, like from where we were played at Americas to where I went to Masca, like I smoked the roads because it was empty. Like, do you know what I'm saying? I've done it in half an hour. They'll say it's an hour and a half, but the journey on that journey is only long because when you get on the mountains, that's only 3 miles. Will take you probably like 20 minutes driving it. Do you know what I mean? Like
why? Because of the yeah.
It's so windy and that, bro, is mental. Like the longest part of the journey is the mountains. Do you know what I'm saying? Rocky was telling me the next day that I don't even know how you've done that. Right.
I was just going to say, I don't know how they didn't go over the edge. And well, we know that Jay went to the Airbnb because he was seen the next morning. You know, people keep, saying there's no evidence he was at the Airbnb. Well, one, he sent a photo. He sent a photo, didn't he, of the whatever. But if you say that wasn't him, but then he was seen by the. So what you're saying is the woman that saw him the next day, she was lying as well. They're all in it together. It's all a big conspiracy with the police and with everything. It just, you've got to think about why, what. It just doesn't make sense.
Fuck it, yeah. Like and then just before we got to the mountains, because remember I'm just blasting music from start to finish, and I got a couple of drinks like a Pepsi, Sprite, little variety. You know what I'm saying? I think I got both of them a Pepsi and I got Sprite, or vice versa. I can't remember, but we've pulled up now to the gaff, and I know you mentioned about some woman was talking about 7 people was in the car and that. Mate, we're driving a Cooper Estate. Do you know what I mean? It's a 5-seater. Like, what 7 people you're on about? And I've mentioned to you, I said I've got a video of that on my phone. Do you know what I'm saying?
Do you were you having a conversation with him as you're driving? What?
Sorry.
What's he doing? Just sat in the back.
Sat in the back, bro, just on his phone and that. And everyone's just on a chilled one. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, they weren't really. But other than it's a drinker now, like, do you know what I'm saying? We've done all the talking, like when we was all them Nottingham girls earlier in the night, we was watching the England game. Do you know what I'm saying? Then we had the laughs that do you know what I'm saying, bro?
What's going on, people? Really sorry to crash midway through this episode, but we've got an important announcement to make. As you know, from day...
Sorry, I'm going to fast forward this a little bit because I've got to go and get my son in a bit. So I want to get as much in as I can. I'll probably end up having to do a part 2 of this. Sorry, podcast.
It's the jeans, the hats. It's coming up to Christmas now. So put the discount code, Stay Central, all capitals for your 20% discount.
Marketing.
So
bless him. Sorry.
O'clock, 11. I've had a bit of sleep by then. I don't mind moving the car. So cut the long story short, my pal was sleeping on the passenger. Like, he's pretty much knocked out from the moment he got in the car, do you know what I'm saying? And so there was a bit where I was just videoing him and that, just catching a laugh, do you know what I'm saying? And I'm videoing him, just joking about. And then me and Jay get out of the car, and then I'll get to the front of the car and I'm videoing him still, do you know what I'm saying? And then we're just laughing about how he's just bare slumped in the car, like with his seatbelt on, but his head's just like tilted to the left. Do you know what I'm saying? We were just laughing about that. And then I ended up waking him up saying, yo, bro, we're back now. And then he's just literally walked in, cut into the house and went straight to bed, do you know what I'm saying? And then Jay followed behind. And then I followed in, do you know what I'm saying? And then I walked in and I said to Jay, basically, I was like, first thing he did ask me was, bro, you got a charger? And I went, go into Matey's room. He's got a charger right by the bedside plug, do you know what I'm saying? So he's gone in there, grabbed his charger, was sorting it out in the kitchen, whatever. And I was like, bro, that's over there, that's you, innit? I'll go upstairs, I'll grab you a blanket or something. I think the pillows must have been on the sofa already. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, the sofa pillows, you know what I'm saying? So I don't think I got him. And I went, yo, bro, that's you. And I remember, I got him a towel. I said, yo, and that's a towel for in the morning when you wake up, when you grab a shower. That's you, my boy. So I made sure he's sweet. He asked me for ciggies. I gave him ciggies. And I went upstairs now. You know, just like, you're about to go to bed. You're just on your Snapchat, just chatting shit. Just before you go to bed, like, you know what I'm saying? And then while that's going on, I can hear him obviously downstairs. Like, the door was like a metal door, so you can hear it, like, whether it's going to creak or make that noise, you know what I'm saying? So I could tell he's going out the door smoking a ciggy and whatnot. And then I don't know at what point I slept, but I do know we come back around 6:30, 6:45. That's what time we went back. And then around 8-ish, just before 8, I heard the buzzer, and I was asleep for a good 45 minutes up to an hour by that time anyway. So I heard the buzzer, and then I could hear movement. Obviously, Jay's like woken up, but or I don't know even if was he awake since because you got to remember, like, there's only it's only an hour space, you know what I'm saying? So he could have even been awake, you know what I'm saying? Or he could have been going in that could have been the time where he's sleeping nearly, and then he hears the buzzer, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know, but I heard him moving, like, but he didn't open the door. So I just like giggled to myself, like thinking, he's fucking shitting it down there a bit, like, you know what I'm saying? Why didn't he open the door? You know what I'm saying? So I just ran downstairs and I was like, yo, G, and he went, oh, bro, that's fucking wigged my head out, that buzzer, you know? And then just for those, like, just a little side note, there are people saying there ain't a buzzer in there. How'd you know? I lived it. Do you know what I'm saying? That button on the right where someone's put it on TikTok and think it's a light, which is actually the buzzer. Do you know what I'm saying? And you'll only know that from first-hand information. So not only that, so I've opened the door.
So it is funny about so say he put his phone on charge. Well, did that charger even fit his phone? If he said, oh, the charger's there in Matey's room, that's what he said, wasn't it, in Rocky's room? Well, there's a couple of things. Maybe Jay didn't want to go in that room to disturb him. Maybe the charger didn't fit his phone. Or let's say it did. Well, so he charged his phone for maybe half an hour or an hour or whatever. Just don't forget, by the time so where are we? So he's talking about what time is it now from what he's saying? Was it 7 or 8?
Well, now, then there's this woman standing there, which I later to be known was Ophelia, this old man, and then their son, but he's not like a child or anything, he's like an adult son, you know what I'm saying? And then this geezer looked a bit, I thought, what's going on here? Like, he had a wheelbarrow and his t-shirt was like halfway up his belly, right? So I was like, that's when I said to myself, these look like characters from the Hills of Ice. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's mad, innit? Like, not that I'm judging them and that, but you know what I'm saying? So they kind of said to me, like, from what they were saying, like, they're speaking Spanish. I know bits of Spanish. And from what I
don't know
gathered,
any
they were just
Spanish.
basically like, hermano, can you move your car, basically? You know what I'm saying? So I was like, all right, cool. I'll move it. Let me just go back upstairs and wear my t-shirt and my shorts. Because I was just ran downstairs in my boxes. You know what I'm saying? So I'll come back upstairs, had a t-shirt, shorts, sliders, went into the car. That Ophelia's husband kind of directed me to another parking spot. While I'm doing that, I see Jay chatting to Ophelia, as into, I don't know what they were talking about, but obviously when I got out of the car and I come back to the front door, he's walking out as I'm walking in, and he's like, bro, like, I'm gonna get off. I'll see you later, sort of thing. And I was like, hang on a minute. Well, I've got a question. Do you know what I mean? You're all the way here. Why are you gonna get off? Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, what's up? And he went, oh no, I need to get off. This woman's told me I can catch a bus from here every 10 minutes. And I'm gonna get on there and I'm gonna get going. And I was like, but I'll drop you off later when I wake up and that. And he's like, no, I need to get a sperm, I need to get a bit of food. And then that's when I thought as well, but we had a kebab, all three of us, like 10, 20 minutes before we come back. But when someone's telling you that, they obviously just want to go. You don't know what's going on in their head. They just want to go. Do you know what I mean? And I'm not going to be like, no, you're not going, you're staying. I'm just thinking, all right, cool. From what I can see here, you just told me, yo, you're going to jump on that bus. I'm thinking you're safe. You're sitting at that bus stop. No, he did say it's something about it's coming every 10 minutes, but I said, mate, it ain't coming every 10 minutes. So, like, I've been.
Yeah, that's. I think if it always sort of gets me how this. He had a conversation with Ophelia. Well, how could he? Because he doesn't speak Spanish. So I wonder if Ophelia was saying to him the bus was coming at 10, and he thought she was saying this one every 10 minutes. I don't know. Who knows what that conversation? Not only we weren't there to even hear what it was, but we don't know what the difference between what was actually said and what maybe they thought was said. Is Jay's maybe thinking she's saying, oh, there's a bus every 10 minutes. There obviously isn't a bus every 10 minutes. So maybe what she was saying, there'll be a bus in 10 minutes. Or maybe she was saying there'll be a bus at 10. Or maybe she wasn't saying any of that. We don't really know, do we? What she was saying.
Been there long enough to know that the bus won't come in every 10 minutes. Do you know what I mean? Like, I've sat at the cafe next door for couple of hours before, smoking ciggies, working off my phone, you know what I'm saying? Sorting things out. So I know it don't come every 10 minutes, but the fact that he wanted to go, I'm not the one to fucking hold anyone in my yard, innit? If you want to go, you can go. I said to him, bro, like, if you need me, this is my green door. You know what I'm saying? That's it. Because like I said, like, if I would have held him there and said, nah, you're staying, this would have turned into a difference.
Now, I think Ayub is probably feeling quite bad about, be feeling that maybe he could have talked him into staying. But of course, if someone says they want to go, it's not up to him to say, oh, Jay's Jay, he's a 19-year-old lad. He says there's a bus coming. You can't make him stay, can he? But it's quite sad, really, because you feel that if he would have stayed, if he would have been able to persuade him to stay, maybe there would have been different outcome, might there?
Situation, then I would have been accused of hostage. So, like, bro, like, at the end of the day, if someone's not looking like they're in danger and they're telling you, yo, bro, I'm going, what only thing I can do is offering them a lift bit later on, and then differently, someone might say, oh, why didn't you call him a taxi? Why didn't you thingy? But I'm telling those people, yo, you've just landed back home at fucking donkey hours, like 6:45 in the morning, and you got to bed around late 6, 7, and then at 8 you got told to move a car. no one ain't trying to be called in no taxi, bro. I'm trying to get back. Like, I'm seeing in my head, I'm just seeing my bed in my head. You know what I'm saying? So I went back to bed, shut the door, said sweet. I went back to bed, and then my boy rang me, the one I know him through, and said, "Oh, lad, like, my man's gone missing." And my reaction at the time was like, mate, I fucking told him I'll give him a lift in a couple of hours. Only if he waited. Do you know what I mean? That's you lot's problem. I'm going to bed now, bro. I said, look, your mate's sweet. Like, it's all good. Like, he come here in one piece. He left in one piece. I've done my part. Do you know what I'm saying? As a friend, because remember, the whole reason I did let him come with me, and I said, yo, you're cool to come, is because just a week before, 2 weeks before, the last time I was around, me and one of my friends got into a mad argument because he felt that I've left one of his friends left one of his friends behind. Do you know what I'm saying? So I've got PTSD from that anyway. You know, if you want to see that, I don't want to fall out with another friend now because I've left his friend, or he feels like I've left his friend. So, and genuinely, that's the whole reason, one of the main reasons where I thought, you know what I mean? Like, I genuinely, like, it's just about fairness and, like, do you know what I mean? And, like, you don't want to leave no one anyway, do you know what I'm saying, bro? Especially if you're cool with their people. Even if they don't know no one, you don't want to leave them anyway, but especially if you're cool with their people, do you know what I mean?
So, when you went downstairs,
Now, I feel like it's like Coronation Street or EastEnders or something. I've got to go. I've got to stop it there. And there's still quite a long way to go. So you can go over and finish off listening to it on the Central Club, of course, or I will definitely be doing a part 2 tomorrow. And we'll look through it, look through the second half of, I feel like you should have the drum roll. But what I want to say to everyone is thank you so much for watching with me, and thank you for being so respectful for each other this week. And really, you know, although people have said things in chat and everything, nobody said anything too terrible about Ayub. At the end of the day, he's there, he's open, you know, he's telling his story. And, you know, whether you like him or you don't like him, or you think he was involved or wasn't involved, or he's lying or whatever, I think you've all given your opinions in very sort of respectful ways, do you know, that without actually attacking anyone or even Ayub, because there he is, he's out there, he's telling his story for better or worse, and everyone will have their view on whether they believe it or not. But you know, that's it, and we all do have our views, and we will have our views. So I will be back tomorrow, and we'll go. I'll have to turn this into a part 2 because unfortunately I've got to go and pick up my son from work, and yeah, we'll have another look at it tomorrow, finish it off. I think it's a very interesting podcast, all of it. You know, even the bit of them talking about the prisons, etc. This guy's story, it's all very interesting to give us. And as I say, whatever you think of Ayub, whether you think he's telling the truth or not telling the truth, he's telling the story as he remembers it, according to him. And it's interesting it's always better to listen to somebody saying, talking directly instead of watching, you know, TikToks or YouTube things, just saying what they think this and they think that. You know, actually hearing Ayub from his mouth, then you can make up you know, you can listen with an open mind and make decisions about what you think from what he says, not from what other people say about him. May not change your opinion, but at least you've heard it from the horse's mouth, what he's saying. So for me, that's really important. But yeah, we'll carry on with it. As I say again, thank you so much for watching it with me. It's always, you know, better to watch it with people, isn't it? And talk about it rather than, you know, you can watch the podcast, obviously, but it's always good to have discussions and things, civilized discussions, of course. So, yeah. That's right. We've all heard. Oh, sorry. No, listen, I'm going to look. It's like, all the best soap operas. We've got the EastEnders drum roll for part 2 tomorrow. And we'll carry on talking about it. But yeah, very interesting and a very good podcaster, this guy. So I'm definitely going to watch some of his other podcasts as well. He's got, what's his name? Tommy Robinson on a couple of those videos. So they'll be interesting, if nothing else. Okay, thank you so much. I'll see you. Don't forget, please, to leave your DNA on the like button. I'll see you really soon in the next video. What day are we on? It's Tuesday. Yeah, so tomorrow. Yep. And until I see you again, as always, may your God go with you. Bye.